The Samsung Galaxy Buds lineup has never been more confusing. Older models sometimes have better active noise cancellation, the budget earbuds are weirdly better at some things as well, and the prices and features are just wildly different among the lineup. So I want to compare the new flagship Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, which are very impressive, against the former flagship Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, the open-style Galaxy Buds 3, the incredibly small Galaxy Buds 2, and against the more affordable Galaxy Buds FE, which really do carry their weight. These have wildly different designs, and depending on how you use them, the best buds for you really has almost nothing to do with the price. So in this video, I'm going to test and show you the microphone quality, the sound quality, the active noise cancellation, transparency, and basically anything else that I think you need to know to decide which is actually the best pair of Galaxy Buds for you. So starting off with that first thing being the price, as well as a little summary of the design and comfort for each of them, I want to start off with the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, the newest model. These are selling at $250. Interestingly, about the same price as the AirPods Pro, because these, well, they look a lot like the AirPods Pro. They are an awesome pair of earbuds, and with this massive redesign, of course, the stem on there, or the blade as Samsung calls it, gives us some advantages and disadvantages. And this kind of really stirred up a lot of conversation at launch, and we'll talk about those advantages and disadvantages throughout this video. Then we have the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. These are the old flagships, and interestingly, they're not even that much cheaper. They're $230. Maybe you can find sales. I'll have links to all of these in the description if you want to see the latest prices. I'm sure Samsung discounts these all the time, but these have a more classic Samsung style that I think some people may actually end up preferring. The more boxy little case here is a bit smaller, a bit more compact than the Buds 3 Pro. In addition, the earbuds themselves, not having a blade on them, means that they're fitting a little more tighter up into your ear. From aesthetic standpoints, that could be a benefit, but of course, like I said, there are also drawbacks with not having the stem. For example, it's a little harder to adjust them without hitting the touch controls, and the stem on the Buds 3 and 3 Pro should give us a better microphone, as you'll see in just a minute. Then for about $170, we have the Galaxy Buds 3, much like the Buds 3 Pro, big redesign. These are, however, are an open design, so they don't have silicone ear tips that go into your ear canal, which makes them more of a sequel to the old Galaxy Buds Live, which had a very small niche following, but the people who liked them absolutely loved them, because people who would buy these would generally be anyone who wants a pair of earbuds that doesn't have silicone ear tip. Maybe that's for comfort reasons, maybe that's for hygienic reasons, they're easier to clean, so if you share your earbuds a lot, that's a big advantage. Then for $99, the Galaxy Buds FE, beyond impressive for this price, still being a pair of Galaxy Buds, and as you can see, the wingtips are back, baby. Much like the Galaxy Buds, the original ones, and the Galaxy Buds Plus, the wingtips are really just a solid option if you're doing a lot of working out, you want something secure and solid in your ears. These are fantastic, but the silicone on here is a little bit more rigid, which on one hand gives us better passive noise blocking, as you'll see in our active noise cancellation test, very impressive, but on the other hand, can mean that if you wear these for many hours, your ears can get a little bit more fatigued. And of course, the Galaxy Buds 2, the price is kind of all over the place. Technically, Samsung did discontinue these. They're no longer on their website, but you can still find them on Amazon and maybe in your local Best Buy, for example. These will be in a lot of the comparisons throughout this video, but not all of them. I find that these are very light and very comfortable when you have them maybe at a desk setup, because they are so tiny, but if you're running or doing anything else, there's really no locating features in these to hold them in your ears, and they always kind of fall out of my ears when I run. So before we get into the active noise cancellation, one category I want to talk about are the aesthetics. Now, I'm not going to rank these, I'll let you guys rank them, but kind of highlighting some key aesthetic points on all of them, starting off with the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. These come in two different colors. One is going to look a lot like AirPods, which the positive is that if you're worried about looking different, you want to fit in, like, yeah, these are definitely going to do it, but they do look a little bit different than AirPods, so people might assume they are bootleg AirPods, fake AirPods, or something like that. Personally, I would prefer the other colorway, which is more of a gray, looks more like Cybertruck earbuds, very distinctly different from AirPods in my opinion, and what they both have, which is very cool, is this little blade light on the outside, so a little white LED that is nice for, aesthetic reasons, it just looks cool, but also functional. If you lose the earbuds, say you drop them on a plane, it's loud. You're not going to hear the little chirping sound, so you can look down on under a dark seat and have this flashing, a much easier way to find your earbuds. Also, the case standing upright, I think this is pretty fantastic. So you are able to charge it wirelessly on the back. You can stand it upright at your desk. The clear top looks really cool. You can obviously see if your earbuds are in there or not. I think the design of these is pretty fantastic, but some people, like I said, don't necessarily appreciate that stem. The design is basically the same on the Galaxy Buds 3, not a whole lot to say there, also available in 2 colors. The Galaxy Buds 2 Pro are available in 3 colors, maybe more if there's like online specials. Sometimes Samsung launches more, but at least at launch, there were 3 colors available for this. And as you can see, a very compact earbud, so you can comment on the aesthetics of this. Much more subtle, but the white ones can definitely look like cotton balls in your ears. People have told me that when wearing these in public, but the black ones, I don't know, I think personally, I kind of like that aesthetic quite a bit. The Galaxy Buds 2 come in 4 different colors, and these are very shiny actually, so not my favorite look, but then the Galaxy Buds FE just come in 2 different colors, black and white. These, again, look like the older Galaxy Buds and Buds Plus, something that I've always been a big fan of. They stick out a little further than the Buds 2 Pro, but again, as you can see there, if I was sitting here wearing earbuds, you really would not notice that I even had these in. It's very, very subtle. Again, pros and cons with that. Positives, it's more subtle. Not everyone's gonna notice that you have them. But the downside is in an office space, very often I have people coming up to me and talking and not realizing I have earbuds in because they are small and very subtle. The controls on these are wildly different, but I want to split them in like 2 different categories. The 3 and the 3 Pro have a slide and pinch kind of style. The other ones have a tap and a multi-tap setup. So the slide and the pinch that we have on the Buds 3 and 3 Pro, personally, I think is far superior. So if you're running, you're working out, whatever, say it's raining outside or your hands are sweaty or you have gloves on, 3 things that happen very common when you're working out outside, having something that doesn't require capacitive touch sensors is a positive. So pinching is force-based, and that's gonna work no matter what your hands, if you're wearing anything, your hands are wet or anything like that. So more reliable, I like that. It takes a little getting used to where you have to pinch, but in general, I really appreciate this. Also, you can adjust the earbuds very easily without accidentally controlling your music. To control the volume then, you just slide your thumb up or down the stem there, or the blade, and I think that works fantastic. Overall, the controls, I think are great, really superior in my opinion, on the 3 and the 3 Pro. The other earbuds have tap, double tap, triple tap, and like the Buds 2 Pro, for example, have double tap the earbud edge. So you can tap like the back of your ear or the bottom or some corner of the earbud edge to get an extra control to, I don't know, open Spotify or change the volume or whatever you want. And that all works great, but like I said, pinching and sliding just works a little better in my opinion. And now, probably the category you've all probably been waiting for, the active noise cancellation, I think is really, really interesting. It depends on the frequency that you are trying to block though. People like to make this black and white, like which one's better, which one's worse. And I want to do a couple tests here because in some situations, lower frequencies are going to be more important. If you're flying, for example, in other situations, maybe you're trying to block out a lot of talk in the office, maybe it's more HVAC kind of sounds in the distance, like not a big loud jet, and these are going to perform very, very differently. So starting off, test number 1, the sound of a jet at a set distance away, I turn that volume up until the earbuds are no longer able to block it, and at that point, I record the volume, and that is going to be essentially how powerful they are at blocking lower frequencies. So in first place here, for me, with this specific frequency, the Buds 3 Pro were blocking more than the Buds 2 Pro, but very, very subtle. Not a huge difference there, and I think that may be because the sound that does get through feels a little bit more compressed and higher pitched on the Buds 2 Pro, which to me is perceived as slightly louder. So that's why the Buds 3 Pro seem to block a little bit more. I have seen conflicting research on this. For example, I've seen the Sound Guys did a test where they showed that for them, the Buds 3 Pro were less capable than the Buds 2 Pro at blocking out a full spectrum of sound frequencies. So it depends on what frequency you're trying to block. For me, blocking jets, the Buds 3 Pro did actually pull ahead there. But then not far behind, like almost tied honestly, the Galaxy Buds FE did a fantastic job blocking 56.1 decibels. And I think that this is really, really quite impressive, although they can be a little bit spotty. So they seem to have multiple levels of ANC. It's only like 1 in the app, but as things get louder, you'll notice you can kind of start to hear it, and then it'll kind of like kick into another gear, and it can block sound like to a higher decibel count than you expected. So it's smooth, it's powerful, does a really good job suppressing jet sounds. And I think, like I said, because of that more rigid silicone feel there, they do tend to block a lot of frequencies quite well. The Buds 3, like these do have active noise cancellation, but without sealing your ear, it's not going to be like blocking jet sounds. However, still pretty impressive for blocking like the air conditioner in the corner of the room, or maybe like some distant traffic outside, like different things like that. I think can be very impressive that this is able to do that. There is, however, a mild hissing sound that does exist with these. And then the Buds 2, I am actually excluding these. If you want cheap active noise cancellation, just get the Galaxy Buds FE. I've been having some problems with my Galaxy Buds 2. It broke like halfway through my testing, so I just didn't want to include the results in this video. This test number 2 then is the higher voice test, or just generally people talking. What I did is I found an audiobook of some woman reading the whole thing, and I tried to listen at what volume I was able to hear what she was saying and at what volume I was not able to hear what she was saying. And so this is naturally going to be much more difficult for earbuds, where they're generally good at blocking out lower droning sounds, so voices are very, very difficult. And for these, the Buds 3 Pro actually were less capable than the Buds 2 Pro. Very, very marginal. It's very, very close, but that could potentially be related to the fit for me. It could be a better passive noise blocking on the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, or it could actually be the engine that's actually running it. So this, I think, is fascinating. I know the drivers are very capable on the Buds 3 Pro, so perhaps we'll see a firmware update in the future that kind of changes this as well. But regardless, they both were performing very well. However, this one is very, very surprising. The Buds FE actually did an even better job than the 3 Pro and the 2 Pro. And again, probably because they have better passive noise blocking with a more rigid silicone that fits deep in your ear canal. But again, if you're trying to block out chatter and noise and sounds, that's very, very impressive. The third test is going to be active noise cancellation in a quiet environment, which you might say, like, why would you ever do that? Well, like maybe you just have an air conditioner in the corner of the room or something like that. The Buds 2 Pro are very quiet. Like they're silent, they don't have any kind of artifacts or noise that really bothers me, whereas the Buds 3 Pro do have some hissing or some static sounds that I noticed. I kind of complained about this in my original review of the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. Although still not terrible, it is something that I notice if I'm not playing music. And then the Galaxy Buds FE, like I said, they have like they're kind of finicky. They have multiple levels of ANC is what it seems like. So if they realize it's quiet and they drop down to the low level, then sure, it's totally silent. But if for some reason they're going in overdrive and trying to cancel out the noise that doesn't really exist, then you can get a little bit more hissing and some white noise on them. Moving on to the next category of transparency. This is something that I think a lot of people overlook, but it's very, very important if you want, like, it's something that it just makes a nice pair of earbuds feel very premium when you can put them in with transparency and just hear everything around you naturally as if you weren't wearing the earbuds. The Buds 3 Pro are extremely natural. These are by far the best out of this entire group. They have 5 levels of transparency, very clean low end, not any kind of harsh highs. There is, again, some static or white noise in there, but overall, very impressive. Then the Buds 3 non-pro, these don't have transparency mode, but they're open earbuds, so you can already hear everything around you. In a way, they're kind of in their own category as being better because everything is just the actual sound you'd be hearing. The Buds 2 Pro only have 1 level of transparency. It's decent, but there is some hissing and some white noise. I would kind of correlate this to the first level of transparency with the Buds 3 Pro. The Buds 3 Pro can go up to like way more, like basically hearing aids. Like they can get pretty loud. The Buds 2 Pro, like I said, only 1 level, definitely a little bit more hissing, definitely not super compressed, but definitely lower quality than the Buds 3 Pro. And then the Buds FE, they just kind of struggle in general. Like they don't do high ends very well. They don't really do loud voices well. They can be a little bit harsh and compressed. Not the worst though, like it functions if you're just trying to hear the next stop on a train or hear when someone talks to you in the office. But I don't know, you're gonna know you have your earbuds in. It doesn't feel like nothing is there. Now, finally, let's get into a microphone test. This is where I would expect to see a better quality with the Buds 3 and 3 Pro having that stem, which allows you to have the microphone a little bit closer to your mouth and a little bit more directionally oriented. So starting off with the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro indoors, so studio environment, this is probably as easy as it's going to get. I would expect these to sound the best, but of course you can let me know in the comments below. The stem does give you a microphone closer to your mouth. Then we have the Samsung Galaxy Buds 3. I would expect these to sound a lot like the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. Not a whole lot different here in terms of microphone technology, but let me know how they sound regardless.
Now, these are the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. These, well, you can leave a comment and let me know how they sound in the comments down below. Compare them specifically to the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. That's what I find the most interesting. One thing I noticed, however, is that when you're pairing these, most other Galaxy Buds do this. One of the new features with the Buds 3 Pro is they have a nice little button on the bottom. Just makes it easier to put it in pairing mode compared to the older ones. Not that it was hard before, but now you just have a definitive button that just, I don't know, reduces that barrier a bit. And of course, the Galaxy Buds FE. I mean, I love how these can just really hang in this comparison. The microphones, I don't know, let me know what you think of them, but I mean, the fit, the comfort, like they're just so secure in my ears. I don't know, I really do like these earbuds, especially because they're so much cheaper than the other ones. All right, so I'm outside near a pretty busy road. These are the Galaxy Buds FE. Let me know how you think they sound. There's a little bit of a breeze here and definitely a good amount of traffic. All right, next up, the Galaxy Buds 3. I think probably a little bit more traffic behind me this time. Still breezy. There's also some music playing like back there somewhere. So if these don't block it out, this video could get demonetized, but I think it'll do a pretty good job. And now, of course, the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. By the way, this is actually pretty great lighting. I feel like I could totally film a whole video here if it wasn't so loud behind me. But let me know what you think of these microphones. Now, these are the microphones on the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. Now, by the way, if you notice, I have like a ton of smart rings on, like 4 rings. I'm actually making a comparison video right now. If you want to see that one, comparing the Aura Ring to the Ring-Con to the Galaxy Ring, and of course, the Ultra Human, definitely be sure to get subscribed. I'm pretty stoked for that video. Tons of testing, been wearing these for a while. But let me know what you think of this microphone.
And then, of course, the sound quality. The Buds 3 Pro, these really pull ahead here. These have deeper bass, crisper highs because they have a planar tweeter and a dynamic woofer and have a two-way SPK dual amplifier. So that should give you, of course, better resolution on there and more control of the highs and the lows kind of separately. Like the dual amps definitely reduce distortion between the speakers through that independent control. When you're listening to these, you can absolutely tell that they are by far the best sound out of all the earbuds I have on the table here. The adaptive EQ also gives you personalized sound based on your ear geometry, which is nice. And even though I was getting some static noise, which again, like kind of a recurring problem with these earbuds, I don't know if it's just my model. I've tried 2 different pairs and they did that on both of them. Other people have not complained about that, but for me, it's just like that static noise, the hissing sound has bothered me a little bit with these. There is a 9-band equalizer though, which I think is very impressive. So nice, you can adjust everything, but the balance sounded nice at basically all volumes. And I've said this in my original video, I was happy to listen to these at 25% volume, which is kind of a subconscious test that I realize which earbuds sound better, like good, nice quality earbuds, you should be able to listen at low volumes, and certain sounds sound loud within the music because everything's balanced, you can hear everything. You don't end up turning up the volume so you can hear that one part of the song in the background, maybe it's like the drum or something like that. You don't want to have to turn the volume up to hear different instruments. And these, you don't have to do that. It does a great job. Like I said, definitely the best sound on this table right here. Then we have, again, in no particular order, the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. Also capable of 24-bit audio, although at a lower sample rate. They are very lively, very capable, but a bit more muddy and dark compared to the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. You can tell without that same dual amplifier control, it's getting a little bit more, like a little bit less detail, a little bit less instrument separation, but still, like I said, an impressive pair of earbuds. Generally, pretty warm, pretty clean mid-bass, more of a consumer-centric sound, though, that is going to be just, you know, a little more V-shaped, a little more lifted on the ends to be more exciting for a lot of consumers. The Galaxy Buds 2, these have pretty good sound for the price, but the smaller drivers deliver weaker bass, and the tuning is, of course, going to be similar. However, you get a lot of high details and not as much low end on these. I would say these are definitely further down, 3rd or 4th place on this list here. The Galaxy Buds FE are a bit more flat, which I think is a positive for this price. Typically at this price, it's very, very bass forward. But these, again, a little bit more flat, a little bit, not as much resolution in my opinion. They can be a little bit bloated with mid-bass making vocals slightly less pronounced, so not the best balance on these. And it can lead to some slightly weaker instrument separation, but overall, I would say pretty good for the price. Like listening to these, I can't really complain too much at $99 among the Samsung lineup. Definitely more than passable. And then the Galaxy Buds 3 are kind of in like a separate category by not having the same isolation with like the silicone ear tip. You're going to have highs are definitely a little bit more pronounced and maybe slightly harsh at times compared to the low end on here, but generally pretty well balanced. And again, they do a pretty good job. But kind of highlighting some of the main differences. The Galaxy Buds 3 and 3 Pro have Auracast, they have Siren Detect, they have Voice Detect, which is also on the Buds 2 Pro. They have Galaxy AI for real-time interpretation. They have those blade lights on them for Find My, so you can actually locate the earbuds, like I said, under a plane. Unfortunately, they do not have ultra-wideband. Like, none of these have ultra-wideband, so you can't find them the same way you'd find a Galaxy Tag or an AirTag or something like that. But they do also have automatic and adaptive sound control. They have playback controls. Without the assistant, you could just say pause or play music, and they do have Bluetooth 5.4. So much more future-proof and much more feature-rich on the Buds 3 and the 3 Pro. All right, so I'm gonna switch over to ambient mode so I can hear myself talk, but even without that, if you just start speaking, it'll turn your music down, it will turn on transparency mode or ambient sound mode, and you can hear what you're saying very well. So I really like that, that automatic feature there. But you can see we have adaptive, which means if you go inside, it's going to have transparency. If you go outside near a busy road, for example, it'll turn on ANC. It works very well, and something that I know I use, and I actually do like that feature quite a bit, so you don't have to think about switching between them. We have things like Siren Detect, which if you have ANC on and a siren's coming by, I'm not sure exactly when you would want this. I kind of want to block sirens out a little bit. Like, they can be pretty loud, but it turns on transparency mode, so if you want to have that, that is available. The earbud controls, easy to customize all of them, as you can see right here. We have some other cool settings if you go into earbud settings, like voice controls, like I just mentioned, reading notifications aloud. Of course, neck stretch reminders, as we saw on the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro as well. So if you look down too much, it'll remind you to lift your head up, better posture. Kind of a cool feature to have there. The Galaxy Buds 3 settings are basically the same, but the ANC you'll see right here is just on or off. And like I said, it just kind of blocks out like the air conditioning and different sounds in the room. Otherwise, basically all the same. You can see sound quality and effects right here. They all have 360 audio. Then the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, again, the app is going to look similar here, but you can see we don't have multiple levels of transparency. If we go to ambient sound right over on that side, they do still have voice detect, works very well, 360 audio, and of course the tap controls over here, as well as double tap the earbud edge, which is actually over in labs, which I think they don't really have as much in labs on the newer 3 and 3 Pro, but you can see like sharp and call sound. It's something that we do have a better call quality on the 3 and the 3 Pro, but you can sharpen it over here, as well as turn on like gaming mode or double tap the earbud edge for extra controls there. And then the Galaxy Buds FE, despite being the budget model, still gets access to a lot of cool features on here. A little bit more trimmed down, you can see, but we're still getting, if you go to earbud settings, a ton of other things like reading notifications, Bixby voice wake up, ambient sound during calls, seamless earbud connection. So these do all have the ability to connect between any Samsung devices and switch seamlessly between them, but none of them actually have true multi-point connectivity. So if you have like a MacBook and a Galaxy phone, you're not switching seamlessly between them. These can all work with Apple devices or really any devices out there, but they're only going to be limited to Bluetooth on things like an iPhone because you don't have a Galaxy Wear app available on iPhones. These do all have a lot of the same features that I like to see on most earbuds. Mono mode, so you can listen to just one earbud, automatic in-ear detection, so they'll automatically play or pause when they're in or out of your ears. 360 audio is available on most of them, but one thing that I noticed that I'm very disappointed by with the Galaxy Buds FE, and it's the same case. Samsung could easily have added this in there. It would not have costed much extra, but the Galaxy Buds FE do not have wireless charging, which I think is a huge drawback. Personally, I don't like plugging my earbuds all the time. I like just setting them down on like a little wireless charging pad every now and then and having them top off like that. And speaking of that, the battery life on these is going to be, again, kind of dependent on how you use them, but assuming you use them with active noise cancellation on, the Buds 3 Pro have the best battery life, with 6 hours in earbuds and 26 when you include the case. The Buds FE have 6 hours in the earbuds and 21 when you include the case. That's with ANC on. Without it, it gets quite a bit longer, but it's kind of tied with the Galaxy Buds 3, which have a longer total battery life, but less in the earbuds, so 5 and 24 there. Then the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro get 5 hours in the earbuds and 18 in the case. That's with active noise cancellation, of course, but all of them, at least 5 hours in the earbuds is a very passable battery life. And of course, durability. If you buy these, you want to make sure they last a long time. The Buds 3 and 3 Pro both have IP57 water and dust resistance, which is great. You don't have to worry about them if you are like in the rain or at the beach or whatever. That's really nice. The Buds 2 Pro have IPX7, so the same water but not any dust resistance. The Buds FE and the Buds 2 both just have IPX2 water resistance, so that's a bit lower. And as far as durability goes, I have to say the Buds 2, I don't know, like mine are broken right now, so that can't be a good sign for their durability. Otherwise, I haven't had any issues with the cases on any of these. Honestly, even scratching, they all hold up really quite well. The Buds 2 Pro, though, I will mention, it's a softer plastic, so it seems to like kind of weirdly collect dust on it. Like things just kind of stick to it a little bit more than the glossier ones like the Buds FE. But kind of concluding right here, who should buy which pair of earbuds? Well, obviously, if you're on a budget, the Buds FE really carry their weight. They have top tier ANC for this price, and they're giving you just a really nice design, a really nice classic. Like this, the silicone ear tips are great. I would also recommend these for anyone who does a ton of working out and maybe other earbuds are a little finicky. They don't stay in your ears as well. These are more likely to because you have the silicone ear tip in your ear, adjustable with multiple different sizes, and that wingtip also adjustable with multiple different sizes that grips the inside of your ear and just stays in a little bit better. Then I would say anybody who really worries a lot about like earwax on their earbuds, if you share your earbuds a lot, for example, or if you just don't feel comfortable with the silicone ear tips because they just maybe feel too like uncomfortable or to put too much ear fatigue in your ear, then the Buds 3 are going to be your choice. Otherwise, between the Buds 2 Pro and the Buds 3 Pro, it really is a toss-up. I think for me, the Buds 3 Pro are definitely a better pair of earbuds. The slight difference we saw in active noise cancellation between them was not enough for me to justify recommending the Buds 2 Pro instead of the 3 Pro. And in addition, I personally do actually prefer the stems on here because it does give us, in my opinion, better microphones, better touch controls, and of course the ability to adjust your earbuds very easily without controlling your music by accident. But if anyone wants a more subtle looking pair of earbuds, and maybe you find a better discount on last year's model, the 2 Pro, then the Buds 2 Pro are still a fantastic buy. And I mean, I think a lot of people, it's completely justified if you choose those instead of the 3 Pro. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's my analysis of all the Galaxy Buds on the market right now. Hope you found this video helpful. Since you watched this long, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.